against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank you everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all joined the call this morning? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Preeti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving your association daily. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Virita Gandarvika Devidasi from Texas, and nice background. Thank you, Mataji, for your sweet services every Sunday. It's very nice with your busy schedule. Also, still you're coming and doing this service. Very nice, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for your kind words. Hare Krishna, Virita Gandarvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association every day. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all gurus to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Varsha from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Varsha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to introduce? Hare Krishna, Mataji. Till now, Prabhuji is not yet joined. Can we do chanting, Mataji? Or?
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anta Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. And Guru Maharaj.
Mataji, your voice is breaking, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna. Can someone? Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Akincana Krishna Prabhuji to enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, 23rd chapter, text 1 and 2 onwards. First, I would like to hand over call to Suresham Prabhuji for brief introduction of Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Suresham Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. I would like to hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. And here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Akincana Krishna Prabhuji hails from Mumbai. Prabhuji has dedicated full-time to monastic services, which is Brahmacharya in ISKCON in the year 1999. He had a short stint working in the industry for 2 years in Blue Star Limited and PC Software Private Limited. After completing his graduation in Electronics and Communication Engineering and post-graduation in Business Management. Prabhuji served as a value educator in schools, Gita for college youth, and gives seminars for corporate young professionals on stress and time management. Gita principles for a satisfying life and motivational seminars for the youths in ISKCON Chowpatti's Prerana Youth Festival. Prabhuji is a regular Srimad Bhagavatam speaker in ISKCON Girgaon Chowpatti. He has been taking weekly spiritual discourses for devotee community in Panvel, Kharghar and Seawoods, South Mumbai. He also organizes two-month spiritual trips and talks for the British sabbatical youth from the Bhaktivedanta manor every year. Hare Krishna Mataji, a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Nice introduction. Yeah, Prabhuji is not yet joined, so we can continue chanting until Prabhuji comes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, I would like to hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Conference Call. Hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagarajata Sagana Nathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you for having me. So we are on the subject of creation. Srimad Bhagavatam 5th Canto. (22nd) chapter, I think. Yes.
23rd
chapter. I didn't hear anything.
Prabhuji, 23rd chapter. Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it is 23rd chapter, Prabhuji.
23rd chapter.
Yeah, 23rd chapter.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, right, so let me see. This one?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
1 and 2. Yeah.
Okay. So, which chapter? What, like 23rd chapter? What? Which verse?
Verse 1 and 2.
Which
Prabhuji.
verse from the 23rd chapter?
1 and 2.
Oh, really? Because see, I was given the verse. I was given this verse. Where's this? This one. Can you see? 5th canto, chapter 2, verse 12. This was
No problem.
given to me.
Okay, Prabhuji, you can.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, Prabhuji,
What should I do?
whatever
Because I
you.
was given a different words.
Yeah, Prabhuji, you can do that verse that you have got.
And I'm
Prabhu.
getting my own echo. I can hear my own voice.
Okay. Let me.
Yeah,
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So you can do whatever verse you have got, Prabhu. Sorry for the miscommunication. Mataji is in India, right? Shama Gauri Mataji. Maybe because of that it happened. Whatever you have prepared, we want to hear that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We cannot able to see Prabhuji.
Screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, Shri Shuka Uvacha Atha Tasmat Paratas Trayodash Laksha Yojanantarato Yattad Vishnu Paramam Padam Abhivadanti Yatra Ha Maha Bhagavato Dhruva Agnendrena Prajapatina Kashyapena Dhamena Samakala Yugbihi Sabahu Manam Dakshinatah Kriyamana Idanim api kalpa jivinam ajivya upaste tasya no bhava upavarnitah. Shukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, 13 lakhs, that is 10,000, 100,000, 10 lakh, 10 lakh crore, 1 crore 4 lakh miles above the planets of the 7 sages is the place that learned scholars describe as the abode of Lord Vishnu. There the son of Maharaj Uttanapad, the great devotee of Maharaj Dhruva, still resides as the life source of all the living entities who live until the end of the creation. Agni, Indra, Prajapati, Kashyap and Dharma all assemble there to offer him honor and respectful obeisances. They circumambulate him with their right sides towards him. I have already described the glorious activities of Maharaj Dhruv in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, so Sahi Sarvesham Jyotir Gananam Graha Nakshatradinam Animeshana Vakta Brahmasa Bhagavata Kalina Brahmyamananam Sthanur Ivashtambha Ishwarena Vihitaha Shashwat Avabhasate. Established by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pole star, which is the planet of Maharaj Dhruv, constantly shines as the central pivot for all the stars and planets. The unsleeping, invisible, most powerful time factor causes these luminaries to revolve around the pole star without cessation. So it is distinctly stated herein that all the luminaries, the planets and stars, revolve by the influence of the supreme time factor. The time factor is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is under the influence of the time factor. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind and loves his devotee Maharaj Dhruv so much that he has placed all the luminaries under the control of Dhruv's planet and has arranged for the time factor to work under him or with his cooperation. Everything is actually done according to the will and direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But to make his devotee Dhruv the most important individual within the universe, the Lord has placed the activities of the time factor under his control. Hare Krishna. Right, so here we see the description of Dhruvalok as being the pivot, or in other words, the pole star. What we may know that place as a pole star. And the constellations revolve with the pole star as the pivot. So if you take a video of the night sky, it looks like a plate with the stars appearing as dots on that plate. And all the dots are fixed in position, in its respective positions on that plate. And it rotates about the pole star. So the pole star is like the epicenter, or should we say the pivot around which the planets are moving in a clockwise direction. If you look from the top, then you'll see like the pole star is like the hook on which the Prabhupada used to say it's like a chandelier. You know, you have these bulbs and these like glass pieces on the chandelier. They're all fixed in their respective places on the chandelier. And the pivot is like the hook, the pole star. And you can visualize the different bulbs in the chandelier as the different planets, the sun, the moon, and so on. Constellations like that. The constellations are. And they are just moving like this. You know, they're moving like that. So the sun also moves. It's anchored. The sun is anchored. Horizontally and diagonally. Horizontally to the Meru mountain, and all these are very, technical, and I don't know how much you all are able to relate with it, but this fifth canto makes it very difficult for readers to understand, because frankly speaking, it's like all astronomy, and not everybody is interested in astronomy. The description is very technical, very mathematical. Takes a lot of repeated reading in order to figure out what is happening. Yes, what is happening like that. So anyway, so the Meru mountain is fixed on the Bhumandala. Bhumandala is like a disc, Yes, the center of the disk is the Meru mountain, and the sun is anchored to the Meru mountain on a horizontal axis. The sun is seated on a one wheel chariot, and that wheel is on a Manasottara mountain range, which is circular. So he's going around like this, clockwise. And he's also anchored to the diagonally with astral cords. Yes, the astral cords to the pole star. That way. So everything is, that way, arranged around the pole star. So a very, very important position of the pole star, which is actually the Dhruva Tara, where Dhruva Maharaj resides. And here it is explained in the purport that the Lord has given Dhruva, his devotee, a very, very important position. And he has made all the other planets subservient. And he has even made the time factor to work in cooperation with Dhruva. That spiritual world is like within the material world. It is within the material world. It's a spiritual world, but within the material world. Now that may confuse some of us. Well, we can look at it as a consulate of a foreign country within the local country. Say if there is a consulate of, say, Australia in India. So, the rules of India don't matter there. Rather, they follow the Australian, legal systems and everything. It's like an Australia within India. Or if it is like, say, maybe Israel, consulate of Israel in India. So, Israeli, they speak Israeli there. They'll speak, they are all Israelis there, and so it's like a little mini Israel within India, or little mini Australia within India, is it not? So that's like the consulate. So similarly, the consulate, we can say, of the spiritual world is like that Dhruva Loka, where Dhruva resides along with his associates. And everything within this material world is revolving. And even time, it seems, is not, does not control that world. It's in fact working in cooperation with Dhruva Loka. Yes, so this reminds me of one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kapil Dev is speaking to his mother. Kapil Dev, as you know, is the incarnation of the Lord himself. And he says, Na karihichit mat paraha shanta rupe. Where he says that, Nangshanti no me nimisho ledi heti. So he says that, Na karhijit mat paraha shanta rupe. Nangshanti no me nimisho ledi heti. Which means that the opulences which I award to my devotees, it cannot be taken away with even by the power of time. Na karhichit nimisho ledi heti. Yes. And why? Because he says, because Sakha Guru Daivamishtam. Because he says that my devotees, they consider me as one of their relatives. A Sakha, either a friend or a guru or Daivam or a worshipable deity. So as a result of taking me to be or accepting me to be as one of their family members, naturally they inherit my property. And because my property is not material, so what they inherit is not material, it is spiritual. And therefore, what they inherit cannot be separated by time even. Even time cannot separate it. And in fact, that what I have given them truly can be called as opulences, real opulence, that which cannot be separated from the devotee, neither by any event. No material event can separate. If time cannot do it, then nothing else can. So therefore, here is the assurance that of the Lord for all his devotees, that if you are taking me to be as the most important person in your life, if you consider me as your family member, because you see, we have to ask ourselves this question, that what is the Lord to us? What does the Lord mean to us? Who is he? How do we look? How do we see him as? Like, for example, Devaki, Vasudev, they looked at Krishna as their own son. The cowherd boys looked at Krishna as a friend, as a sakha. Arjun looked at Krishna at some point of time as a friend and sometimes as a guru. Some people look at Krishna as a worshipable deity. So you see, somehow or another, we need to establish that relationship. What are the different kinds of relationships you can have with Krishna? You can have any one of these. In that way, you have to be connected to the Lord. The gopis looked at Krishna as their lover. Yes, so, and in that way, we can develop a feeling for the Lord, in that mood. And then when we are connected in that way, then we can develop our sambandha with the Lord. That's why it is called as sambandha. Begins with sambandha, avideya, and then culminating in prayoja. See, so therefore, the question is that, and therefore we keep the Lord in our homes in the form of deities. And once you have deities at home, then you have to take care of his eating, his clothing and everything. You can't abandon him at home, is it not? Even if you have to go out of your home, then you have to think about who will care for the deities. So that is one of the processes. Deity worship is one of the processes by which you learn to establish that sambandha with the Lord. And you have deities at home, you have family members at home. So he becomes one of your family members. And just as you cook for your family member, say maybe your son likes some particular sabji, then you make, say maybe he likes paratha, you make paratha for your son. Your husband likes something else, your wife likes something else, whatever the case may be, and you make separate special dishes for them. So also when you have a deity at home, you figure out, or you try to understand that, okay, what does Krishna like, what does Radharani like, and then you one day cook for something special for them on that particular day. Okay, Radharani likes arbi ki sabji. All right, let me make arbi ki sabji. Oh, okay, Krishna likes butter. Okay, let me just churn butter, hand churned butter, and I will offer it to Krishna. So you see, when we look at Krishna in that way, we can look at Krishna as a child, we can look at Krishna in so many ways, and Krishna accepts all of them. That's why he says Sakha Guru, and Devam Ishta, whatever way. I mean, my devotees look at me. They look at me as their own family member. And that's why the Lord mercifully, because conditioned soul cannot think beyond oneself, beyond one's family, beyond one's community. So the Lord, if you see in the Mahabharata, he appears as Antaratma, as Paramatma. He appears as a family member, and he appears as a community member. And that's how he delivered all of them. The Yadavas thought Krishna as their community member. Is it not? Devaki, Vasudev, they saw Krishna as their family member, own son. And also, like the gopis say, the gopis are praying that, oh, you are Antaratma. Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan. That you are actually not the son of Nanda and Yashoda. Antaratma Drik. Sakho Deivan. And he says, Antaratma Dvaika. What is that verse? Yeah, it says that you are actually the super soul within our hearts. And therefore, you are the most lovable object. Because you are not different from us. You are the self actually. You always reside within the soul. The soul and the super soul are never separated. And therefore, you are the most worshipable object. So, the process of devotional service begins with establishing that relationship with Krishna in the form of either as a son, either as a lover, as a friend, in so many ways, in 5 different rasas: madhurya, vatsalya, sakhya, dasya, shantya. So that establishing that connection begins there. And obviously, the Lord does not expect us to become astronomers, by reading this section of the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. A lot of technical details. Now, what if we do not understand all these technical details? I mean, are we disqualified from becoming pure devotees? Are we disqualified from entering into the kingdom of God? I mean, if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, it's quite confusing, isn't it? How many of you have actually understood everything what is being discussed in this 5th canto? Would like to raise of hands, see this way. Okay, how many of you have difficulty in reading or understanding this 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam? Why don't you just give me some hand raising, so that if I don't receive any hand raise, that means everybody has understood everything. Yes. So obviously, it is very difficult to understand, and the Lord definitely does not expect us to become astronomers. And in fact, one verse comes to my mind from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is telling Arjun, Yavan artha udapane sarvata sampluto dake, tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanta. 2nd chapter. Where in the beginning he says Traigunyo Vishaya Veda, that the Vedas are full of material knowledge. Mostly material knowledge. Only about 3 or 4% is spiritual knowledge. So he's telling Arjun that just stick to the essence. Don't be concerned with the material aspect of the Vedas. Take up to the spiritual aspect. And then some thoughts crop up in the mind of Arjun, where he's thinking that how is it possible for me to read all those Vedas? It's such an elaborate work, and to read all that, I may even miss the point. I may not even come to the conclusion. I may miss bhakti. I may miss spiritual knowledge there. So in response to that, Krishna says, Yavan artha udapane sarvata sampluto dake. That which means he's giving an example. Like, if you, like in villages in India, we have these wells, we have ponds for different purposes. We have bore wells. So different sources of water are used for different purposes. Like for drinking, we go to the well. For taking a bath, we go to the pond. And for maybe other purposes, washing hands and feet, or some irrigation of your plants, or in the garden, you use your borewell water, groundwater, like that. So there are different sources for different purposes. So Krishna is giving an example. But what if you have a river flowing nearby to your home? Say maybe your home is very close to a river bank or to a river. So a river, you can do everything with it, isn't it? What will you do? You can, drink water from there. You can maybe bathe there. You can, wash your clothes there. You can do everything with a river. So he's saying that just as a well, a bore well, a pond, everything, all the purposes are met within a river, or rather you can say the river includes everything. Similarly, the Vedas include everything. But Arjun, don't be concerned about all those other details. Really, all you have to do is what? You have to take what is necessary for you. Just because Vedas are so huge and vast does not mean that you have to take all of it. You take what suits you. And what suits you, what should suit you? The knowledge of Atma, the knowledge of Bhakti, the knowledge of Upasana, spiritual knowledge, knowledge of liberation, that spiritual knowledge, Paravidya, you should be concerned with that. So just take what you want and go ahead with your life. So similarly, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, there could be certain aspects of it which may be difficult for us to grasp. A lot of technical details about astronomy, and certainly there are many people in this world who are obsessed with astronomy. As last time one devotee was asking that what is the point of mentioning all these details about how many kilometers and how many yojanas are Venus and Mercury and Mars and all about the earth, and the different dimensions of the universe may kind of bewilder us. But really, what is the essence of everything? As I was explaining, it is basically devotion, bhakti. And it is to understand that there is no place in this universe which is permanent. Yes, it's no place, and therefore it's futile to try to aspire to go to any of these higher planets, where they are all temporary. And take up to Krishna consciousness. And if we get that message, that let us worship Krishna, let us do our devotional services, that should suffice. That should suffice. That is the main purpose of, because Bhagavatam was spoken for everyone, all different varieties of people. There are going to be astronomers, scientists, and there are going to be simple people, so it is there to satisfy everyone. And therefore, there is a wonderful verse from, as I think I might have told you this before, in the Varaha Puran, where Varahadev is telling, Nayami paramam sthanam archir adi gatim vina garuda skandham aropya yatecham anivarita. He says that I am going to take my devotees, Nayami paramam sthanam. I will take my devotee to the param sthan. So what is the param sthan? The param sthan is spiritual world, Golok, Parampad, Golok Dham. So I will take my devotees to the param sthana. Archir adi gatim vina. Even though he is not perfect in his, understanding of yogic practices, the time of leaving one's body, Uttarayan, Dakshinayan, and the time of the day, all those very scientific details which are known to yogis, and they plan their departure at that particular favorable moment in order to attain liberation. So Krishna says that Archir Adi Gatim Vena, even if you are not an established yogi, it does not matter. Even without these things, I will take my devotee. I will personally deliver that devotee. And Garuda Skandham Aropya, I will place him on the shoulders of Garuda. And Yatechha Manivaritaha. And who's going to check my desire? If I make the decision to take someone to the spiritual world, what power on earth is there to check that? You see. And the Lord says, Nayami means I personally will deliver. Imagine, say, on Amazon, say you order an item and somebody rings your bell. After a few days, your item arrives and the Amazon agent rings the doorbell, and you open the door and you find, the owner of Amazon personally has come to deliver your item. Say maybe Jeff Bezos is personally there at your door and he's coming with a smile on his face, and he's delivering the object to you. Wouldn't that amaze you? Why is Jeff Bezos here personally? And it's like that. It's so amazing. So it's like that. Krishna says that I personally will come and deliver you. I personally, because generally when our soul departs, according to his karma and the time at which he leaves his body, as I told you before, there are these different gods. Time of the day, the day of the week, whether it's Uttarayan, Dakshinayan, Krishna Paksha, Shukla Krishna Gatiyete Jagata Shashvate Mati. Krishna says there are two ways of leaving body. Ekya Yati Anavrittam Anvaya Punah. He says that one way is liberation, one path is to liberation, one path is you come back. So all these things, yogis are very expert at these things. Yes, a devotee may not know all these things. But Krishna says, Naite Sriti Parthajanan Yogi Mohita Kaschana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Arjuna. So my devotee does not need to know all these things. Because when the yogi leaves, the gods come and then they deliver the soul from one god to another god and another god to third god, fourth, fifth, that way. Just as an Amazon parcel is delivered from one godown to another through different delivery agents. Similarly, the soul is delivered by different god. They hand it over from one god to another. Finally, they are taken to their destination, depending on their karma. But when a soul surrenders his life to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, then that delivery is not done by these gods. Krishna says that he personally arrives. Even in the Gita, he says that. Tesham ham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. There also he said, I personally will come deliver my devotees from the ocean of birth and death. Here also he says, Nayami paramam sthanam. I personally will come. There is no third agent. I personally. Krishna says, Yogakshemam vahamya aham. Aham means me. He says in the first person, I will deliver. He doesn't say that he will deliver. I will send this man and he will pick you up. I will send a Uber and I will send you Ola and he'll pick you up from there. Not like that. He will personally, come, and that is something very special. And that is really the message, the central message, the essence to which the Lord wants to bring us all by explaining all these different things. Is just be a simple, humble, surrendered devotee. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That is in essence. And the proof is Dhruvalok. And the proof is Dhruvalok. What was his age? 5-year-old boy who performed devotional service. And the Lord appeared to him. Yes, appeared to him and blessed him. That young boy who didn't know anything, what did he know? He had no intelligence. He had not even gone to school. So he was a 5-year-old boy, and when the Lord Vishnu appeared, he couldn't speak anything. He was speechless. He was so overwhelmed. When you are overwhelmed, you can't speak. So Dhruv couldn't speak anything. And then the Lord takes his shank and places it on his head, on his cheek. And the moment he did that, he was empowered. And as you know, we have already read it, that in the Bhagavatam, beautiful verses, Sanskrit verses started flowing out of his mouth. Yonta praveshyamam abacham imam prasutam sanjeevayathyakhila shakti dara swadhamya anyam stahasta charana shravana tvagadi prana namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam bhaktim moh pravahatam vaime prasango bhuyadanantamahatam amalashayana ena jasol vanamurubhyasanam bhavaptim eshe bhavat gunakatamritapana. And on he goes on, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says that by your empowerment, by you touching me, yonta praveshya mama vacham imam prasuptam, all my senses which have been sleeping till now have been awakened. That empowerment, you see. Yonta praveshya mama vacham imam prasuptam sanjeevayatya akhila shaktidara swadhamya. Anyam stahasta charana shravana tvagadi. All my senses, 5 senses have been enlivened. And he says that bhaktim moho pravahatam tvaime prasango bhuyad anantamahatam amalashayana. That all I pray for, O Lord, that I want to be within the association of devotees. Prasango. Wherever the devotees are chanting and glorifying you, I want to be in that association. That's all I ask. So just as Dhruv Maharaj was empowered from within to understand everything, he didn't have to go to school to learn all these things. He became a great Sanskrit scholar and he became the great knower of the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas, all by just simply the touch of the conch of Lord Vishnu. And Dhruv Maharaj had this desire that he wanted a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather Brahma. He had this desire before the Lord appeared. But when the Lord appeared and he saw the Lord, he lost all his material desires. Then he did not want anything. But still the Lord fulfilled his desire. He said, I know that even though you do not ask from me anything, but I know that before you had this desire to attain the kingdom greater than Brahma, so be it. Even though this blessing or this boon is so difficult to give, but nothing is impossible for me, and I will arrange it for you. And he awarded him the pole star, the spiritual world within this material world. And it's an eternal place, and awarded him the most important position. So he is the most opulent person within the material world. So if anybody has any doubts, if anybody thinks that devotees always have to be poor only, like Sudama or like Shrutadev, these were all like Chola Becha Sridhar. If that is our conception, if we are fearing that the Lord will always keep us in poverty because the Lord likes to see his devotees in a poverty-stricken condition, well, that's not the case. Because here is a proof that the richest man in the universe is not Jeff Bezos or someone like Bill Gates or whoever it is. No, the richest man in the universe, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, is Dhruva. Is it not? I mean, he's the most powerful living being within this universe. Even the planets, even time itself works in cooperation with Dhruva. So the Lord says, don't worry about all these things. Whatever you need, I will provide. Whatever you need, I will provide. There is no need to separately endeavor for anything. Everything is included within devotional service. So, in essence, we can see that how it is things are arranged within the universe, for what purpose it has been arranged in this particular fashion, and how Krishna consciousness is actually the main purpose behind the creation of the universe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, I would like to take them.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much Prabhuji, beautiful class. I'm requesting devotees, if anybody have any questions or realization, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. What a beautiful class, Prabhuji, as always. Very nice class, Prabhu. You have told that we have to establish the relationship with Lord. 5 relationships, whatever we like to see the Lord, like that we have to establish relationship. And you have also told very nice point that Vedas have in deep knowledge. It's not everybody can take everything. As you said, 5th canto is hard for some people in that ayah. So it is very hard to digest. And as you said, little whatever we can get from there, we can take that and we can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very beautiful. Explained each and every point, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for that comment.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Sureshwar Shyam Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. One confirmation I have, Prabhu. In the translation, in the first verse translation, it says, who, it says, live until the end of creation, Prabhu. So Dhruva Maharaj will live until the end of the creation. So Prabhu, can we assume that like the Dhruva planet will remain, will not be annihilated at the end of Brahma's day, and it is annihilated. It is not annihilated, not the right word, but it only after end of Brahma's life, it merges back or something like that, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's like all the spiritual places: Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwarka. All these places, they are explained in the Skanda Purana that when the cosmic annihilation takes place, they remain transcendental. They are not destroyed. If we can speak about these places which are on Earth planet, then what to speak of Dhruva? Not just Dhruva Loka. We are talking about Navadvip, we are talking about Vrindavan, we are talking about Ayodhya, Mithila, Dwarka. They are never annihilated. They exist eternally. Because they're not material, they're spiritual. Yeah.
So even after the end of Brahma's life, Prabhu? Like after 100 years of Brahma's
life? They eternally exist. They eternally exist. They manifest, unmanifest. They manifest to us. They manifest within the material world and they unmanifest. Yeah. That does not mean they don't exist. Manifest, unmanifest, yes.
So what do you mean by unmanifest, Prabhu?
Manifest, like for example, the sun manifests to us in the morning. Manifest, unmanifests in the night, is not, or when it sets. So manifestation means it appears to us. Within your sight, within your perception. Yeah, it's not created. The sun is always there, but it manifests in front of you for your convenience, for your, so like that. So the spiritual world and all the spiritual beings manifest and unmanifest. Just as the Lord comes, he manifests in this material world, he takes incarnation. So the spiritual world also is like that. You might have heard it when you go to Navadvip. Yeah, when Navadvip also, Navadvip Mahatmya. That when the cosmic annihilation was taking place, that Markandeya Rishi, he was floating in the ocean of devastation. And he sees a transcendental place above all that water of dissolution. And he's drawn towards it. And then he sees that Surabhi cow underneath that wish-fulfilling tree. It was Goda Dhrumadvip, that place. So that means he saw Goda Dhrumadvip, he saw Navadvip above the waters of cosmic annihilation. Markandeya Rishi. That Mahatmya of Navadvip is said like that. So, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the clarification. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Beautiful answer. Anybody have any further questions? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. If nobody have any questions or relation, we can end the call here today, Prabhuji, with your permission.
Sure. Thank you very much. And apologize if I was a little disorganized today because I didn't have much time because I was given another verse, and also Shama Gauri Mataji called me yesterday afternoon and evening and told me about the verse. So I was a little caught up in other services, so I didn't get much time to. But I guess I said what I wanted to do. So,
thank you so much, Prabhuji. With short period, he came and gave class. Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your association also. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening class today. We are very grateful to you and we look forward to your association again and again in the future. Let's pay our obeisance to Prabhuji. Vancha
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you
Thank you
for
so
having
much,
me.
Prabhuji. Very grateful
Thank you.
to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.